Have you ever stopped to think about what happens when someone receives communion without faith? Maybe this has happened to you. You went to Mass, joined the communion line, received the Eucharist, but deep down you felt empty, distant, or even doubtful. Is receiving communion like this just a formality? Or could it be a serious mistake here with eternal consequences? In this video, we're going straight to the point. What does the Church teach about receiving communion without faith? Is it a sin? Does it offend God? And what should you do if you've already experienced this? Stay with me until the end because what you'll discover here could forever change how you participate in Mass. By the way, if this is the kind of content that makes you think and search for truth, go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. You'll see that truly understanding the Eucharist is one of the most profound experiences a Catholic can have. Let's start at the beginning. What does it really mean to receive communion? When we receive communion, we're not just eating a piece of blessed bread. The Catholic faith affirms with complete certainty that right there is Jesus Christ himself, alive, present, whole. This isn't a symbol. It is the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Christ, the same Christ who died on the cross and rose again. When the priest consecrates the bread and wine at the altar, all of heaven bows down at that moment. That's why receiving communion is a sacred act. It's much more than just attending Mass. It's an intimate, deep gesture of union with God himself. It's saying with all your heart, Lord, I believe, come and dwell in me. But what if your faith is weak? Or even worse, what if there's no faith there at all in that moment? That's what we're going to talk about now. Many people believe that receiving communion without faith isn't harmful, as long as they have good intentions. But the truth is, when faith is absent, communion becomes something dangerous, and even offensive. The Bible itself is clear. In Corinthians, St. Paul warns, "Whoever eats the body of the Lord unworthily eats and drinks their own condemnation." Yes, condemnation. Receiving communion without faith isn't just cold, it's a sacrilege, if done with indifference or conscious denial. It's like someone entering the Holy of Holies, with dirty shoes, without even believing that God is there. And the Catechism reinforces, those who are aware of having committed a mortal sin must not receive Holy Communion before having received absolution in the sacrament of penance. But what many people forget is that total disbelief in the Eucharist also seriously hurts our communion with God. We're not talking about those who have sincere doubts. We're talking about receiving communion as if it were an empty ritual, as if it were just a custom, and when this happens, communion doesn't strengthen, it hurts. Throughout church history, great saints have helped us understand the seriousness of the Eucharist. St. Catherine of Siena said that a single, well-received communion could completely transform a soul. Imagine then what happens when it's received coldly, without faith. St. Padre Pio cried when speaking about unworthy communion. He saw with the eyes of his soul people approaching the altar as if they were going to the market, without reverence, without preparation. And he said, receiving communion unworthily is one of the greatest evils in the Church. And how many of us have heard stories of conversion that started with a shock? Someone received communion out of habit, out of routine. And then, understanding what they truly did, broke down in tears before the tabernacle. There began a journey of repentance and profound change. These stories aren't meant to scare you. They're an invitation to truth and love, because communion is an encounter with love, but it can't be done with indifference. But then, if I have doubts, should I stop receiving communion? If I don't feel anything, does it mean I'm sinning? These questions are very common and need a clear answer. Faith isn't a feeling. You might be going through a spiritual desert, feeling absolutely nothing, and still have true faith. Because faith is an act of will. It's trusting, even when you can't see. Now, what's different and serious is receiving communion while denying the real presence of Jesus in the Eucharist, or doing it as if it were just a symbol, without any awe, without any desire for communion with God. Look, there's a difference between someone who struggles to believe and someone who refuses to believe but still goes to receive communion. The first person is on the path to salvation. The second is in danger of falling into what the Church calls sacrilege. If you have sincere doubts, ask God for guidance. He never rejects anyone who wants to believe. And it's this desire that opens the doors of grace. If you've already received communion without faith, don't panic. But don't ignore it either. The Church is a mother. And like any good mother, she doesn't hide the truth. But she also never closes her doors to a repentant child. The first thing to do is seek out the sacrament of confession. There you can place all of this in God's hands with sincere repentance and start anew. Afterwards, ask God for the gift of faith. Talk to Him in your own way. Lord, I didn't understand what I did, but now I see. Help me to believe. This simple prayer can open a path of healing and transformation in your soul. Communion isn't just a ritual, it's Jesus Himself entering your life. And He wants to enter a heart that, even if fragile, is open and full of desire. The Eucharist is the greatest gift God left us. It is Christ Himself, giving Himself again at every Mass, out of love for us. But when we approach this mystery without faith, we run the risk of treating the sacred as ordinary. It's no exaggeration. The Church itself warns us, receiving communion without faith, without repentance, without respect, can separate our souls from God. So, the question is, how have we been approaching the altar? With reverence, or out of habit? If this message touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear this. Like the video, leave a comment below about what the Eucharist means to you, and subscribe to the channel. We've been posting content that helps you strengthen your faith and grow spiritually. May the Eucharistic Jesus deeply touch your heart. And may the next time you receive communion, be with all the faith, all the soul, and all the love that He deserves. Do you want to understand the prophecies shaping the future of the world? In the ebook Catholic Prophecies, The Future of the World Revealed, you'll uncover powerful messages from the Bible, saints, and Marian apparitions. Most importantly, you'll see how they connect to the times we are living in. Don't be left in the dark. Get your copy now. The link is in the description and pinned comment.